Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. Yeah,
get your boots ready. We're about to go on a trip where we wrestle, nobody settling or calling it quits. You're here for the grit, betcha this stuff is amazing. You're stumbling, welcome to the bump in the apron. Step into it, the hardest part of the ring. Here to bring fun, yeah, in this art he is king. It's the best thing, making sure you don't tap out. Don't go soft with the hardest podcast out. And it's not just another one, it's clear. Off the rest, in this content, none contest. Take the nonsense off the steps. You know it's nothing but pure gems when it's coming off the chest. Get it? Now it's time to sit and relax. Get your mind blown away, ain't no skipping this track. Have you paying more attention? No listening gap. Get everything I ever wanted, no giving it back. Yeah.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Apron Bump podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, otherwise known as the hardest part of the ring. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody's blood pressure doing? How's everybody's A1C? I hope everybody's healthy and happy and hard and horny and hungry. Is my cat about to puke? The cat owners out there, do your cats have like a specific meow when they're about to puke? Because Dwayne's, because he has all sorts of hairballs. You know, his normal meow is meow, right? Kind of Gary-esque from SpongeBob. But when he's about to puke, he sounds like a human almost. It's like oh, you know? I don't know what humans sound. Oh, sounds like me when I asked my wife to strap on that well, never mind. Well, speaking of pegging, Winnipeg is not where we're at. We're actually in Vancouver. But it's Canada. It's all the same. Everywhere's the same up there. Every person, every ecosystem, everything up there is the same. It's all just snow and bullshit and bagged milk and poutine and the expos. Like all that stuff is up there. And you know what else is up there? The World Wrestling Federation for In Your House 9 International Incident. Who doggy? What a program this was. Not really. Well, actually, there is some good stuff, which we will get to. We'll get to the best and the worst of this show if you stick around to the end of the podcast, where the hardest promotion battle of 1996 continues. WWF versus WCW versus ECW. We will grade this show and we will pit what WWF is doing at this point in 1996, mid-July, against what WCW and ECW are doing. We're going to look at all the criteria, the in-ring, the out-of-ring, overall, minor stuff. I mean, the best and the worst of the mid-90s wrestling. We'll get to it all. And whoever wins that competition at the end of 1996 will earn a purchase from me of one of their championship belts. So whoever wins at the end of it, those are the stakes. So make sure to stick around to the end. It's always a fun old time kind of looking at what each company is doing, especially for this show, because I think there might be some bests, maybe some worst. I don't know. We'll see. I don't plan it out as I do it, so we'll walk through it together. But In Your House 9, what are we getting into today? So we are fresh off the heels off of King of the Ring, 1996, where we got, of course, the Stone Cold promo that everybody knows and loves. Austin 316 is in the zeitgeist, is in the atmosphere, but it isn't really a thing yet, I would say. But we're making moves towards that as we see Stone Cold face Mark Marrow on this show. We also got the furthering of Mankind and Undertaker. We got Goldust here. We got the tag team divisions in shambles, but we'll get into that. But the main event is a six-man tag. It's the People's Posse versus Camp Cornette, and we'll get into who is involved and what's not involved. No titles are on the line. Look, I looked at this card before I watched the show, right? Because I've never seen the show before. I looked at the card on Cage Match, and I was not looking forward to watching the show at all. However, in watching it, I think it kind of won me over, especially the main event. But we'll get into why. We'll get into the good, the bad, the ugly. But I'll tell you who is not ugly. He's quite handsome. Juss from the GETCHO podcast joins me on this lovely, lovely show. Returning to the show. Always a awesome time with Juss. Check out the GETCHO podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. They get into a lot. They get into wrestling. They get into non-wrestling. They have fun with wrestling. They do games. They do fun topics. It's a hoot. It's a big old hoot over there. Also, check out Marks and Mike's, where you can find Juss talking about the current product and whatever tickles their pickle. Wherever Juss is, it's going to be entertaining. So go follow my boy. All that info will be in the description below at GETCHO Podcast. And hey, while you're just following people, why don't you follow me at Apron Bump on all the social medias, apronbump.com for all my full episodes and whatnot. Hey, if you like this era of wrestling, maybe you're just popping in cold. Maybe you're just tuning in for the first time. Hey, guess what? Hypothetical new listener. I cover this whole era, pal, as well as several other eras. And you can go to apronbump.com and you can go to the episodes tab and you can filter down to whatever era you'd like to hear me recap and talk about with various podcast guests. For this one in particular, you can filter down to New Generation, where you'll have the chronological reviews of all the New Generation pay-per-views starting from WrestleMania 10. Or you can filter down to Wrestling Wars of the 90s, where that'll also include WCW and ECW, along with the WWF pay-per-views. All of this stuff chronologically in order, so we can live through this era and how things have evolved over time. It's always a silly, silly time. It's a lot of characters in this era, for better or worse. So check it out. Give the podcast a follow, a rate, a review. If you're watching on YouTube, give a subscribe, a like, a bell, a bump, a tickle on the cheek, a finger in the ass. Do all of those things in that order. Hey, guess what? Got a new Discord. Just started as of recording this a few days ago. So go join the Discord. Why don't you? I'll put a link in the description as well. You can find it on my X account in the bio. But yeah, it's still early stages at this point, but we talk current wrestling, we talk old school wrestling, we talk other nonsense. I'm planning on doing like a pay-per-view predictions league of some sort, probably around Royal Rumble time. That'll be starting. We'll be, announcing watch-alongs there and all that stuff, right? So again, early stages, still building, but get on the train now. The Apron Bumpers is the Discord name, but I'll put the link in the description below. I think I've rambled enough. Let's get to some In Your House, why don't we? WWF In Your House 9 International Incidents with myself and Juss from the GETCHO podcast. Is that just a like the ethnic section in a grocery store, but a whole grocery store?
This is a whole grocery store, actually. And it's so funny because my homegirl, Jizzy, she found a background similar to this, but it's of the back aisle. Oh. So it looks like she's in the back corner.
What's in the back corner of that store?
It's chips, shrimp chips.
It's like those stupid ass Snoop Dogg chips.
Or what are those called?
Oh, they're like wrap. Fuck, I'm gonna look it up.
Snips? Nah, what am I talking about? Snips.
Skip? Zip?
They're gonna be in this episode right here.
Wrap chips.
Damn. Dude, I've never ever in my life have watched so much goddamn Body Donna matches. It's only you.
Really?
Only you.
Well, you're welcome.
I watch so much Body Donnas, man.
You're welcome, bud.
I think I was telling this before. Them and Smoking Guns was a failed tag team. I think this is the reason why tag teams just don't do it anymore. Is because of this era,
I mean, do you think it was failed because of the talent or because of how they were booked? or both?
I think everything. I just think the character gimmick for both teams, the era, the all four men, because even a like a makeshift tag team has chemistry, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
These guys they're just like, yeah, we're here for 8 hours. We're gonna clock in. You do.
Is that how long the
You
opening match
sell.
was?
I'll come in with the hot tag. You sell it next week. I'll come in with the hot tag, and we're off.
I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. I didn't hate either team here on this show. I'll say this actually. I'll say this. I don't like the Body Donnas as a babyface team. I think that's dumb. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, you know what? They could have had a little bit longevity if they stayed that like heel sarcastic like type.
Right. Well, and I think like the Smoking Guns too. Like if they had like more of an edge to them as heels. Like what was the Toy Story guy?
Woody? No,
Toy Story 2, the bad guy. Fucking dick. Another thing to Google. First of all, it was Rap Snacks, by the way, were the chips.
Rap Snacks.
Toy Story 2.
Well, the villain was the Collector, wasn't it?
Well, the main what's his dick? What's his name?
By the way, if you hear a lot of chopping going on, like there's people fixing our roof right now. So, and they have not stopped since.
What goddamn time is it? It's got to be pitch black. They're on a roof?
Yeah, dude. It's like, yeah, it's pitch black right now. The sun's going down.
And they're just up there willy-nilly. We'll figure it out. We'll put the shingle here and bing bang.
They got the Holland and Oats amped up too high,
Stinky Pete. If Smoking Guns.
The sheriff?
If it was like Stinky Pete, then I think the Smoking Guns would have been successful.
Yeah. And then like the whole thing about Sunny going back and forth with these two, it just made a weird.
I think ultimately, man, it's just a reason to get Sunny out there. I feel like she's the star, and everybody else is just working around her.
That's what Jerry the King Law was saying. That's what Jerry the King said. He said, "Oh, it's just I'm just watching Sunny for most of these matches."
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the reality. I mean, she was.
He's right on that though. So,
Sunny or Sable or Marlena.
What are we doing? Are we?
We could do a fuck Kill Mary. Yeah, fuck Kill Mary. Sure. Sable.
Fuck Kill Mary. Oh, I was gonna say who are going to be the study group? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, study group. Janitor and Fluffer.
Okay, if we're just gonna say that between the two, you know what? I think I'm gonna go Sable.
Yeah.
I think she backstage she had more personality than she showed in ring.
Sure.
Just.
I mean, we don't care about the women in the wrestling. What? That's not what they're for. Who would you rather give the business to, Justin?
I think Sunny was just way too. Yeah, she's just way too into herself.
Really, and you don't think Sable was?
I mean, not to that extent. You know what I'm saying? Not to that extent. I mean, if we're talking like. If we're talking like, can you have a conversation with them? Well, actually, can you have a conversation with any of these two? Probably not.
I wouldn't want to talk to either of them personally, but maybe Marlena though. If we're adding the third wheel,
see that I was gonna say if we're gonna choose, if we're gonna throw in Marlena in there, I would definitely go with Marlena. She's definitely has the more personality. She's out more going. She's more chill. Got
that cigar breath though. So you gotta take that into account.
Well, now it's acceptable to wear masks, so it's all good.
See, problem solved.
Yeah,
right?
Come on now. Just like Michael Jackson. You just be like Michael Jackson and
So you think Michael Jackson was the trendsetter is what you're saying. Did Michael Jackson create COVID? Is the
I don't think he created, but I think he knew how to prevent. You know what I'm saying? With the gloves, with the one glove.
He would have thrived in 2020 if he was here, Michael Jackson. Let me tell you. By the way, I'm stalling talking about the show because this was a
dude. This was tough.
This was an interesting.
This was tough.
I didn't hate it, but here's the question: So in your house, right? It's like an in-between pay-per-view, obviously.
Mhm.
Would you, because I'm thinking, because like nowadays, pay-per-views or PLEs, they almost are like just extensions of TV shows rather than pay-per-views
Yeah.
a lot of times. At least like a Crown Jewel or a Backlash or whatever the hell. It always feels like just a glorified house show of sorts. Do you think there's any comparison between modern day PLEs and in your house pay-per-views back in the day?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like when you look at some of the even if we bring it down to like even the takeovers, right? Or the
Yeah.
special events that NXT does, the Halloween Havocs, the deadlines, those are straight up mirroring what an inner house is. I mean,
Right.
they're just um they're just the same thing. It's just that you have more intense matches in the show instead of just like a storyline being played out
Mhm.
throughout the show, you know? Um but to me, yeah, I mean they're one and the same.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no title matches on this card, which is an interesting choice,
Yeah,
especially
I know, right?
with the opening match. Like you can kind of understand some of the because a lot of it's wrapped up in the 6-man main event, but like I don't know. And you got some people injured, which we'll get into. That there's like matches that were supposed to happen that didn't happen. But I guess my thing is like if the expectation is just like a glorified TV show, then I think it was a fine show. But if we're comparing this to like a WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, I mean, this is just like, you know?
Yeah, and I think for most of WWF at this time, that's a lot of their pay-per-views leading up until, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, the big ones.
Yeah, yeah. Which, yeah, this a lot of this is building to SummerSlam, which I guess it's effective in that way. But I guess we'll get into it. I guess we'll get into it. But we gotta start off with the free for all. Just
Oh my gosh.
did you ever? I mean, I don't know if it's online anywhere, but did you watch this live by any chance? Did you catch the free for all?
No, you know what? I didn't catch the free for all, right? But I did see like parts of it like on YouTube.
Right.
You
Was
know,
it
I did because like there's like snippets of it and stuff like that, and I'm glad I didn't miss it. Like
you don't want to watch Justin Hawk Bradshaw versus Savio Vega?
I mean, I'm glad to know that this is what they were doing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bradshaw was getting the jump on getting those dirty
Dude.
Browns out of my country.
Dude. He was starting early with this. He was starting early with his JBL campaign.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we had that was a match. I don't know who won it. Who cares?
Right.
But there's also a segment which they played in the beginning of this pay-per-view. I guess Jim Cornette and Jose Lothario were in the ring.
Oh.
Big time. Big time. Jose, of course, the trainer of Shawn Michaels, right?
Yeah.
And I guess Jose swung at him. Cornette and Lothario started scuffling, and then Vader came in, who is Jim Cornette's boy. He comes in, and Shawn Michaels comes in to protect Jose, and they're teasing the main event. So rackets are flying. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
Did you hear the description that Cornette gave though? Like what happened? He said that
what was it?
Lothario had a blade on him. He's like, he all of a sudden he had a blade on me, Jerry. He had a blade on me and tried to swing at me.
I mean, if there's anybody you can trust.
That old bastard Shawn Michaels came in and interrupted. By the way, shout out to Shawn Michaels. Shout out to Shawn Michaels for sliding into the ring like that. Dude, come on, man.
Slid like 15 feet and to get in front of Vader. Oh, man.
At this time, there's nothing that Shawn Michaels can't do. You know what I'm saying? Even just a regular slide into the ring is so smooth,
Do you think he greased himself up a little bit?
I mean, he might have had help.
Oh, yeah, he might have been greasy already. You know what I'm saying? Sunny days, sunny side up. Who's with me, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, she's out here. Sunny's out here with, we brought it up earlier, but we got a non-title tag team match. Why is it non-title?
I have no idea. Like why?
Because it's the champions, the Smoking Guns, going up against the Body Donnas, Skip and Zip. But yeah, I agree. I don't know, like why not just make it a title match? Like who cares?
Yeah, because I know that I don't think we did the In Your House before this one, but I know we did the one with Kevin Nash, right?
Yeah,
the best friends, better enemies. And I know there was one where the Body Donnas was in between one that you reviewed, and each time that they've been on the pay-per-view, the tag team titles have been on the line.
Right.
Except for this time, which makes no sense, you know?
Do you think maybe Sonny got in Vince's ear or his pants? You know?
Maybe both. Maybe both.
You don't know what he likes. That's a good point.
Hey.
But you know who's not here is Cloudy. Cloudy's not here, unfortunately. You remember Cloudy by any chance?
Oh my God.
She's a handsome woman, right?
Yeah.
Beefy broad, some may say. Don't know what happened to Cloudy, but she's not here. And but the Body Donnas, because Cloudy was the when Sonny left the Body Donnas, they got Cloudy to take her place. But then Cloudy left, and the Body Donnas are like, well, hey, Cloudy made us realize that we don't need a manager because the fans are our manager because they're all behind us. And then they come out and crickets.
Right. And like it's so dumb when you look back at it. They couldn't just find another name, right? But they had to because it's like reverse Sunny. What's reverse Sun? Cloudy. So let's name her Cloudy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how the creative was back then in WWF. It just wasn't good.
Well, hey, now do you know how Cloudy's spelled?
Tell the fans how.
Kloudi. So it's pretty creative, right?
Cloudy.
Hey, who was this Buns of Steel chant for? At some point, the match was going on, and there's a Buns of Steel chant. I didn't know who they were talking to. Were they talking to Zip?
You don't think Tom Prichard had a hefty cheeks?
You know, does Tom Prichard remind you of Paul Orndorff at all?
Oh yeah, dude.
The way he was moving,
the body look, his face kind of a little bit, but yes, the way he would, move in the ring and stuff. Yeah, definitely Paul Orndorff. Definitely
got kind of a juicy booty a little bit. Got some nice, traps.
It's got some nice, cheek roundage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't know if that was actually the cheer was for him though, but.
As we're talking through it, I think it's pretty clear it was for him.
Bart Gunn, you don't think Bart Gunn through those jeans?
Bart Gunn
showing a little,
he was kind of a stud in this match, low key.
He got a little peach going on.
Oh yeah, no, the way he was exploding with these clotheslines, Bart Gunn. I mean, he's got that. It all comes from the anus. So.
I mean, listen, when you only got one move, you better make sure you do that one move good. You know what I'm saying?
What, getting knocked out by Butterbean? Is that his one move?
Ooh.
We're not there yet, but we're close.
No.
We're close. I don't know. Anything in this match stick out to you? In particular?
There's one part of the match where Sunny pretends that she's getting fainted. Like she's fainting, right?
Right.
And Chris Candino is Skip.
Yes.
So he goes out to go check on her, and then it's just a decoy for him to get double clothesline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's such a play on his real life with Sonny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sonny will just tease Chris Candino, and he'll always check up on her just to get clothesline by
Shawn Michaels' dick.
Shawn.
I
was gonna say the situation of his life, life situations. But yeah, Shawn Michaels' dick too. Yeah.
Right. Well, so I thought that was a clever little spot. We're playing on, the Body Donnas still love Sonny, but Sonny doesn't love them, and the guys. That's fine. That's whatever. My favorite part of this whole match was the Guns trying to do the team angle double team, world's greatest tag team. I don't know if you remember, but Shelton Benjamin would hold the guy on the rope, and then Charlie Haas would hold the guy, and then Shelton would jump over Charlie to land on the guy's back. The Guns try to do it, but I think Bart was supposed to bend down or something because he completely missed it, couldn't jump high enough, and from there on, I think they all just felt a bit silly, So
they didn't even try to reset to do it again. They're just fuck it, let's keep going. Next move.
Well, Billy didn't even really try. I mean, he could have just I don't know, shoved Bart's head
Yeah.
down, and I don't know. I don't think anybody was confident in this one. Bart Gunn does some stuff. He catches Skip from the top rope in a pretty impressive looking power slam. I mean,
Yeah, that was
Bart
pretty
Gunn
good.
looked pretty good in this match, I thought, but I mean, the tag team was he's still in jeans at the end of the day. So
Right.
but the finish comes when the Guns are trying to do their what's it called, the Sidewinder.
The Sidewinder, yep.
Bart has Zip set up for a sidewalk slam, and I guess Billy's supposed to come off the top of the leg drop. But Billy is tied up outside flirting with Sonny, I guess. And then this allows Skip to hit Bart with a missile drop kick, allowing Zip to fall on top of Bart. Stupid ass names. So the Body Donnas get the win. Don't win the titles, but they theoretically move up in the theoretical standings that may or may not exist. So that's fun, right?
That's right. Because Zip and
$20,
Skip
please.
now won. Now they're rolling in their whip. And we out of here.
You know, that's bars. That's bars. I think you might have pulled that one out last time. Are there any more?
I did. I switched it because it was different. Because I said flip and a couple other things, but you know, it's so easy to do.
Can you freestyle? Can you add another stanza maybe?
Another on the skip and dip. Skip and
yeah, right.
You know, the skip and zip. They do the flip. They put their hands. They do the dip. Now we're ready, like Indiana Jones, and grab the whip.
Poof. Come on now. Ow.
Come on.
Ow. These headphones are burning my ears. The fire is just coming through them. Ouchie wowie. Well, anyway, speaking of fire, campfire, Camp Cornette backstage. And it's Cornette, Owen Hart, British Bulldog, Vader, and Jim Cornette, I guess, because the main event's going to be a 6-man tag with these fellas facing off against Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, and Sid. Apparently, Cornette says that if his team loses, he'll refund everybody's ticket, everybody who bought the pay-per-view, which is bold.
Yeah.
Bold.
Real bold.
I guess he still got that Smoky Mountain money, huh? Jesus, Jim Cornette. I mean, what would have happened if the finish got fucked up? You know, sometimes the referee doesn't know the finish. It's like, oh, who shoulders it down? Oh, I counted. You would have been had egg on his face, huh?
Oh my God, man. My God.
You think that's what he would have said?
The one thing I remember about, I think for this In Your House, the one thing I got a kick out of is like the little vignettes, the little backstage promos and stuff. This one in particular, though, it's like if you go back and listen to a lot of people that worked at WWE at that time, their issue was kind of Vader, right?
Right.
Because he had came in and he was Big Bag Vader from Japan and WCW. And he came back, he wasn't that guy anymore, right? And so they had to kind of like coach him up the WWE style. Dude, when this promo started, like, so it starts out with the two, with them, Cornette, Bulldog, and Owen, right? And midway through Cornette's promo, Vader walks in and then he walks in front of the camera and then to go around them to just be in the back. Like, dude, your ass is supposed to be there already. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's got to show everybody how big he is. You know,
it's like, dude, on live air, you're gonna be like, oh, that's my cue to walk in. Like, no, you should have been there. You know what I'm saying? And then he starts doing this growling thing with his tongue in his mouth, and then like the camera has no choice to like just go zoom in on his face.
It was a lot. It was a lot of that room must have been musty as hell with Vader's ass.
His arms were like sweat meats. Like, oh
yeah, notoriously smelly fella. This Vader.
Yeah,
probably
and to give all credit to Vader and stuff for his wrestling like legacy and history, but you got to keep it 100. When he came to WWE, he wasn't the same person, you know?
Yeah. I'm wondering, you know, because I'm watching all this stuff in real time for the first time. And at this point, I still think he has some aura to him. Maybe it's after the Shawn match at SummerSlam. I think it probably starts to go downhill. Probably, you know, Shawn allegedly didn't like working with him. So it probably just all went downhill from there. But at this point, I think he's still got some, maybe some sauce to him a little bit. But
he has a little bit, yeah. I still think that he could have been something better than what he ended up being, but that's also part of it is also on him too. I feel. Yeah. Not saying that he's bad or anything. Not saying he's bad, but Like Nia Jax, kind of like Nia Jax.
So you're saying that Nia Jax and Vader are pretty much two peas in a pod?
In a way, yes, because a lot of people had said that Vader was too stiff when he came to WWE.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you look at Nia Jax's track record, that's kind of the similar thing. You know, when you look at the thing with Becky Lynch, Kairi Sane, and all them, like that is kind of within the same adjacent line to what Vader was doing when he got into WWE too. Not to say that any one of them was bad. It's just that, you know, when it came to in-ring, they were just a little too stiff.
Yeah. I think Vader's stiffness comes from him not giving a shit, and I think Nia's comes from just being unathletic. Maybe. I don't know. But I think Nia is just literally stiff.
But you know what? I'm not mad at that.
Nia Jax, would you?
I'm sorry?
Nia Jax.
My internet's breaking up.
Nia Jax, would you?
I'm sorry? My internet's breaking up.
That's crazy. You better go unplug your router. We'll come back to that, I guess.
You come back to that.
Yeah. It's all good. Well, you know who I would is Henry O'Godwin, who's here, taking on Mankind, the deranged Mankind. So it was originally supposed to be Mankind versus Jake the Snake Roberts, but Jake was in the hospital. I meant to look it up. Do you happen to remember Jake and his status here at all?
I don't remember if Jake the Snake Roberts had an issue or if he just wasn't able to wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that could be a legit reason why. It's just kind of weird though. Like when you think about this, like damn, they actually wrestled Mankind and Henry Godwin.
Dream match, right? I mean, it's what everybody was.
Yeah, for the farmers. Yeah, for sure, for the farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna take out the good old Mankind. Okay, this gonna be a barn burner.
There's nothing on his wiki about because the commentary said that Jake Roberts had broken ribs from an attack on Vader, which I guess could be true. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be true.
But he's not here, and who better to replace him than Hog out here with old Hillbilly Jim taking on Mankind. So ultimately, this is kind of just a showcase for Mankind, which is fine. I didn't hate this match. I mean, it was a squash, a glorified squash. But I think Mankind's presentation at this point is awesome. What do you think about this?
Oh, dude, I love that he had two songs. You know, saying the intro song would be one, and then when he would leave would be a whole nother, and the different fonts. You know, because he had like a windowsill at the end of. And I thought how they were building Mankind, it was like the one thing that they got right in creative was this whole thing with Mankind and McFoley. Like they totally sold me on everything about it, and later on you'll see why too. You know.
Yeah, because like WWF was grabbing a lot of ECW guys at this point, like with Shane Douglas. Like they brought him over, gave him a whack gimmick, and then it didn't pan out, and he was gone within a matter of months. So you got to think like at the time, people are probably thinking Mankind's going to be the same, or Mick Foley's going to be the same way. Like they're going to give him a dumbass gimmick. Mankind, what the hell does that mean? Nobody probably thought it would pan out, but like you said, it would go on to be like one of the biggest stars of the biggest era of wrestling. So
exactly.
But yeah, early Mankind, he was really heavy on like the squealing like a pig and pulling his hair out.
You know, doing all that. What? Like, dude, this guy's crazy, you know?
He's deranged, actually, Justin. Did you not hear Vince McMahon say it 1,200 times on commentary? He's deranged. But he's also pulling out like the Cactus Jack type stuff, like when he exposes the concrete floor, gives Hog a neck breaker on the floor, which doesn't seem very smart, but I guess he likes pain, which makes sense with his character, I guess. Hog in there, I mean, he's hogging, let me tell you. Ends up hitting Mankind with a gorilla press onto the concrete floor, which looked pretty gnarly.
Dude, I was surprised that he could pick him up. Like when I was like, because he never did really any of the power moves in terms of the Godwins.
Well, it was off the apron. I mean, Hog was on the floor, Mankind was on the apron. It was,
But I mean, like, for him to do solo was pretty bold. I mean, I'm like, like at one time, did anybody think that should we have a solo run for this Godwin guy? But
Well,
I guess this was just a one-off.
it started off as just him. This is when the Triple H Hog Pin match happened. That was before Pig came into the equation.
Right.
Pig, Hog, no Pig. But then it was Hog and Pig. And now we're back to just Hog. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it was a good time, right? Good times in mid 90s.
When you watch those matches, is there ever a time where like I just wish I could get that time back?
So I'll tell you this: the Hog Pen match is actually not bad. It's like a dead crowd. It's weird. It's a dead crowd, but they're working. They're bleeding. They're in pig shit. I think Triple H had got like an infected
dude, and that's why
or
I
something.
watched it one time when it happened, and and knowing that there's like real pig shit there.
Yeah,
I just couldn't watch it again.
Go watch it again. It's a good time. I recommend it. I recommend it. You won't be disappointed.
You get that 8 stars. You get that 8 stars.
Oh
all right.
man,
all right.
8 stars in Arkansas. You know.
Woo.
Sooey. Well, slop drop. Mankind counters, holds the ropes to keep himself up, locks in the paralyzing mandible claw. Hog passes out, and at this point, nobody's countered the mandible claw. This move is really over at this point. So
it's a devastating move, actually.
Is it? Have you had it done to you?
No, not that. Not by
free.
anyone. Not. What about you? Have you or given it?
I really thought about it. I'd probably vomit. I have a really bad gag reflex.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when you were like in a little?
Yeah, we were talking about ice cream and stuff. Yeah.
It was like settle down. But Mankind wins. Pianos play him out. He sprints to the back, which will come into play later.
Yeah. He had to get ready.
Which I have a lot of questions about that.
Oh yeah, me too. Go ahead.
But before that, I have another question. Were there just? It was at this point I noticed that there were just Mounties standing on this, like, because we're in Canada.
Yeah, outside the house. Yeah.
Were they just standing there all night just to be Canadian? You couldn't get a statue or something?
Well, I think it's like, because you remember at the King of the Ring, they had like people that would just stand in front of the entrance. I think it's the same way. Yeah, Matt and Jeff Hardy, right. I think it was just the same way. They would just be there just to be like, yeah, just to let you know we're in Canada. There's a Mountie at the front door.
Bags of milk and Canadian bacon just in a pile.
Tim Hortons, you know what I'm saying?
Talk dirty to me.
Maple bacon, you know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
So, come on.
Smelly armpits, all of it. All of it.
Whoa.
Well, there's a lot of French there, you know. They don't like deodorant. That's the one thing. I've only been to Niagara Falls. That's my experience with Canada, and I just remember everybody's armpits smelled. A lot of BO.
Really?
Up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only part I've been to is Toronto.
Oh. How was that?
I do want to visit Nova Scotia.
Yeah? What's there?
I don't know. I just feel like shouting out another Canadian city that, you know, sometimes never gets mentioned, you know.
I'm gonna tell you this. Big Nova Scotia following for the Apron bump. So you're at the right place.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah,
shout out.
yeah.
Is that your Nova Scotia accent? Stupid. Oh, well, someone that's, I think he's Canadian, right? Brian Pillman? Is Brian Pillman Canadian?
Yeah, because wait, is he Canadian or he just trained at the Stampede?
Oh, we're hopping to Google again. Brian Pillman.
Boy.
He's American, I think. Hold on.
No. I believe he is American, because didn't he go to like he was from Cincinnati, so he's
yes,
he's USDA.
Is he? But yeah, because Heart Foundation, I think we both thought, oh, they're all Canadian in there, but Bulldog was in there and stuff.
Yeah, Bulldog, right.
But he's here,
right?
Pillman's here, and he's, I guess, the host of the Superstar line. Is this what's going on?
I don't know if he just hijacked this whole segment, Because he's never done this and any of the other In Your House. It's always been like a wrestler that's either wrestling or a ring announcer, right? And when he does this, he goes so off key, talking about, I can give you information about the Body Donnas and Smoking Guns and how they both want to get it on with Sonny. It's like, whoa.
I believe what he said is they both want to double team Sonny.
Yeah, they both, and it's like he said something about hormones.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Cloudy stole all of them, but that's another story.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, the Body, I don't know. Each tag team is in different rooms on the Superstar line, and Pillman's like, oh yeah, like you said, I guess he's walking us through it. You can call and talk to Brian Pillman, which goddamn pal, if there's ever a time to call the Superstar line,
I'll pay that for $1 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he has his broken ankle, so they're making the use of him. So I can't totally blame him, I guess. But after that, we got Mark Marrow taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Did Stone Cold's look? Did you notice anything different?
Well, it wasn't necessarily the smoking skull that we know, the logo, right? It was like a font with stars in the back, and he didn't have the theme song yet. It was still like this weird what was his gimmick again?
The ringmaster.
The ringmaster theme. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was odd that he had a logo at all, because he's always just wrestled in black tights with no logo. So to see him black tights with a logo was very odd to me. But
yeah, it was. It was almost like if he didn't turn around, it's like, who's that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's like Stone Cold. He's there, but the logo just throws everything. I don't know. That just caught me off guard.
No, you're right.
But yeah, we're in this weird limbo period because he is Stone Cold. We're after King of the Ring. He's done the promo, Austin 316, but that hasn't really taken off yet. But he's still kind of the ringmaster with the music and shit. And he's kind of just a technical wrestler. There's not much to him. I don't know. What'd you make of Stone? Just like seeing this version of Steve Austin here.
You could definitely see the essence of what Stone Cold would become, right? But then it's kind of like, man, just imagine if he never got injured, right? Because he was so fluent in this ring, and you know what? People kind of laugh about Mark Marrow and what he's doing now and what he did as a wrestler, but he can work. I felt this pairing was right, you know what I'm saying, just to showcase what Austin could do. Because he was really, really smooth in the ring. Those transitions and everything like that he was doing, it makes you kind of like, man, I know Stone Cold would eventually become like the best wrestler, but imagine if he never got injured too,
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he was able to do what he did, basically not even being able to take a bump, really, is incredible.
Right.
But yeah, to your point, it's to see him fresh as a daisy here, just flying around the ring, bouncing all over the place. He's so good, man.
Dude, he's crashing into the ropes. He's crashing into the pads. He's crashing into the ground. Like, he's doing a lot of selling, and you're like, you forget, like, man, he was really technically sound before he changed up his brawling the style, So.
Dude, that elbow he did, that like Bret Hart style elbow from the second rope, he like flies all the way across the ring like a bullet. So
because remember later on he has to pull him really close to the
he kind of just like
post.
falls down.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I agree. I think these two guys had really great chemistry. I thought it was a really, really good match, and they're playing off because they fought at King of the Ring in a tournament match, and obviously that's the one where Austin got his lip busted open and had to go to the hospital to get stitches and whatnot. So they're playing off of that, like, hey, you busted my mouth open, what? Kind of thing, and that's why we're having this match, I guess. So,
yo, hell yeah.
And I didn't realize, I guess the way he busted his mouth open was Mero was going for like a roll up, like a victory roll type thing. Yeah. Accidentally kicked him in the face, and he does that in the beginning of this match, which I thought was a fun little callback. But Austin like counters it. And he's like, nah, not this time, what? Yeah. And Austin throws him to the outside and like catapults him into the ring post, I guess, trying to like bust his face open, but which looked gnarly.
You got your little bitty eyes and the world's toughest son of a bitch.
Yeah, your Austin and Nova Scotia accents are kind of similar.
The same, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's really where Stone Cold's from? That's why he's cold, huh? What?
Hey,
Nova Scotia. What?
There you
It's
go.
cold up there. I don't
You
even know if
put
it's
it
cold up
what?
there. I assume
100 degrees
cold.
below zero. What?
Yeah, there's some good so Stone Cold goes, they're like playing off of their King of the Ring match. A lot of things that they did were countered this time. Like Austin, he goes for the stun gun, like from a power bomb position to throat Mero on the top rope, but
which is a crazy move too. You know, like if you think about it, it could be definitely like Mrs. Q a number of times if the other person doesn't grab the rope.
Yeah, it kind of was here, but they kind of course corrected a little bit. So they're back and forth. Mero does a moonsault from the apron to the outside on Austin, which you're not seeing that type of stuff a lot in this era. So that was pretty sweet. But at some point,
Mero's moonsault, solid, man.
Mero's
moonsault, it was pretty solid.
Because he has like a ton of moves. He has like the bad day, the bad mood, the bad. Did that one have a name? Do you happen to know?
I forgot what that was called. Maybe the bad language. No,
you got better one? Bad.
No. How about not bad, but how about worse? Worse.
Oh, that's fun. Because it
was flip.
Because it was bad. It was bad when he was Johnny B. Bad, but now he's evolved, and now it's the worst. Everything's just the worst move, the worst day.
And then he gets to his Super Saiyan level. It's horrible.
Oh, that's when he goes to TNA or something, right? Which is a thing. He did go to TNA.
Oh, he did. Which was actually horrible. So,
well, but yeah. So horrible, not horrible stuff here though, because the finish comes when Mero, he's doing the 10 punches in the corner. Austin tosses him like 10 feet in the air, and Mero lands gooch first on the top rope. Stone Cold goes for the stunner, but Mero has it scouted this time, shoves him off. But Austin's able to just like shot put Mero again, crotching the top rope. Hits the stunner. 1, 2, 3. What? Stone Cold wins. And Marlena's out here at some point. I guess she distracted Mark Mero. I don't know what the story is here, but
I don't know if that was something that, because I was trying to think back the Raw before. And I don't remember them actually having like a thing. I know that like, doesn't Mark Mero and Goldust have a thing later on though? But that's a whole year from now though, I think.
I don't remember where in the timeline. I mean, I was watching the Raws leading up to this show, and maybe I fell asleep through a thing that I should have watched.
Well, I mean, like I had mentioned before, like the first 3. This is the match that kind of woke me up. Was this match? So and that got me ready for the next. So
got you raring to go. Well, speaking of Marlena, speaking of Goldust. He's here taking on The Undertaker. What's wrong, Justin?
Oh, yeah.
This is a pretty good one, right?
No, dude. Let me tell you something. At this time, Goldust is so, like, controversial, right? Mm-hmm. And he's still trying to find his footing. And it's funny because this is like a resurgence of Undertaker at this time, too, right? I've always said the beginning of Goldust. Now, don't take it at face value. I've always said the beginning run of Goldust was similar to Undertaker's first run. Okay. He Goldust wasn't fast, just like Undertaker. He moved methodically through the ring. He had his whole aura be the intimidation factor for his opponents. The same thing with Goldust.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for these two to wrestle at this point, I felt like they kind of mirrored each other.
Yeah.
In certain wavelengths, which I had a tough time watching because I thought that they would have chemistry, but they end up just kind of mirroring each other in some ways.
Yeah.
What did you think? Is that too much of a stretch, or
no? I mean, I'm with you. I mean, it didn't really hinder my enjoyment of this match. I would say
I still liked it. Yeah.
Their previous match at Beware of Dog 2, I thought might have been a little better. The casket match, which is what they're playing off here.
That was solid. Yeah.
That of course ended with Mankind popping out of the casket, and they threw Taker in the casket. So that's kind of where we're at with the story here. But yeah, I mean, like just like the beginning, like they make their entrances, and I think it's the story of the match where Taker's just standing there still as a statue, stoic, and then Goldust is on the opposite side of the ring, like holding the ref up like a meat shield, and then he like does his taunt at him, and then Taker hits him with an uppercut in the rough. So, yeah.
Having this match too is entrances too. That's the part that got me. Like both of them, Goldust and Undertaker, and then when they get in the ring, there's like a good almost 3 minutes before they even lock up.
Yes.
They're just looking at each other, you know, circling each other. They're doing the thing with the ref. It's like, yo, they're just like literally copying each other. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this. I think last time we were talking about this era, you brought up Goldust and how his cheeks look in his attire. And I couldn't look at anything else in this match. I want to be honest. I couldn't remember if you liked it or didn't like it. Cause I mean,
I was just saying that like, it just didn't help him. And the bodysuit never left anything to the imagination. Like you just saw everything. You know,
maybe that's what he wants. Maybe that's his distraction. Look at this. I'm up here, you know? Not a bad ass on him, though.
No, he doesn't have an ass. He doesn't have an ass on him. It's like
I think he has an ass. No,
you think he has
he's got some plumpness to him for
you think so? Okay.
Review the tape. Okay. I mean, we gotta, it's
put up right now. Put up a picture right now. And
that's for my spank bank later.
Okay. Gotcha. In
post, the background through the whole episode will just be Goldust's ass. I think maybe.
Well, we'll measure it and we'll get the whole.
We'll take the circumference. Right. Yeah. But speaking of his ass, he goes ass first into the top of the steps when Taker choke slams him on. By the way, it's like because we're in an era where they don't use weapons a lot, so they don't really know how to use the steps. So typically, like nowadays, you'd see a guy like take the top half off and then choke slam him on the flat part that's still there. But here, Taker just fuck it, go into the corners and then. And then Goldust just shit cans the steps on top of him later in the match. So I mean, it was some pretty brutal stuff in this one. It was a fun little brawl.
It was good. And I like how like they had to kind of pretend it was heavier than what they thought it was going to be.
Oh, the steps.
So the steps. So when they picked it up, they're like, oh, and then when they threw it like it was if it was a pillow.
So I've always wanted because I trained in wrestling for a few months and the steps that were at my school were heavy as shit. So I don't know if it's like across the board. Maybe WWE has, lighter steps, but it's always a mystery to me. It's always a mystery. Maybe these guys are just getting strong.
Yeah, I mean, I could never tell you if they're heavier than what they say. I know that they can't be that heavy,
Yeah.
For at least a show. I mean, maybe when they have their in-ring training, it's a lot different, but I know for the show, it's got to be a little bit lighter, right?
You're saying there might be shoot steps and working steps, maybe,
Yes. It's a work, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, what was up with Taker doing a random ass small package in this match?
Dude, that I can never figure that out because there'll be times where Undertaker's trying to do like cruiserweight moves.
Yeah.
Like he like did like a armbar takedown one time on Mankind. It's like, whoa, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess he thought that maybe Goldust and him were similar size that no one would care.
Well, it looked like Taker was going for the tombstone, but he like lost him a little bit. It was like kind of botchy, so they were like in a weird tangled position, and Taker had to do something.
So just to save it.
Yeah, like, oh no, I wasn't messing it up. I was just putting him in position for a small package. The move that I always do. British strong style Undertaker over here.
Maybe all that KY jelly that Goldust puts on himself, all the glitter and stuff like that. It's just too slippery,
That's actually a really good defense mechanism.
That's what he wanted.
Right. So it's all part of the storytelling, and I just missed it. So I'm glad you're here. Yep. Well, after that, because Taker just pops out of that small package, hits him with a lariat, and then hits him with the tombstone. A little stall on the pin, though. Didn't go right for the pin. And I'm like, what's the hubbub here?
Yeah, I don't know what was the point of that. I don't know if they were supposed to do something or Marlene was supposed to come in and do something, but it was kind of weird because usually he goes and does a
Yeah.
thing with the hands and the whole crowd's 1, 2, so
Right.
which is
Well,
weird.
he's about to pin him, and then Mankind busts
Oh my
out of the ring. I mean, explodes out of the ring like a stripper out of a birthday cake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I know what you're saying. I got you.
pulls Undertaker to hell.
To
Thoughts?
hell. I didn't know what to think when this happened, to be honest. I mean, like, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, here's Mankind doing his shenanigans again. But it's like, at this time, it's kind of funny because you're wondering as a kid, like, does Mankind also possess similar powers does Undertaker have? Because, at that time, Undertaker's the only one to do those type of things. And here's Mankind doing similar feats and strengths, So you're like...
He's met his match, some may say.
That's what I'm saying.
So he's a true adversary for Undertaker. See, I thought it was a pretty cool. I know they did it once when Undertaker did it to Diesel earlier in the year in the cage match. Other than that, I don't think they've ever done this. I'm sure they have. I still know, but
they did it again.
But yeah,
no, I think you're right.
We brought up earlier how Mankind after his match sprinted to the backstage area. So I was like, at what point did he get back under the ring? Like, they must have been really sneaky with it. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was like during the Brian Pillman shit, and like everybody's looking at him, like, "Whoa, what is he saying?" And then
did they turn off the lights for him to go underneath? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or
maybe he just took his mask off and nobody recognized him.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
and he was like a cameraman that went in there, but really he was.
Ooh, you know what? That actually could be like this. Put him in black clothes and then have like a second Mankind costume underneath the ring.
Right.
Yeah, we're solving it.
Did a little switcheroony and turn a little switch for the pyro smoke, and then
it wasn't pyro smoke; it was hell. Just the fire and brimstone. I think it was.
Which I always thought was weird when they do these spots. Mm-hmm. Is like, do they have a specific area to cut?
I would think so. Yeah. Maybe that's what was taking him so long. Maybe that's why there was like a bit of a pause. Like Mankind couldn't find the perforation or whatever in the mat. Don't know.
Because like to do the other cut, because he brings Undertaker down.
Yeah.
And then Undertaker has to find like the same area.
Right.
A similar area. I guess like there was time he needed to crawl to the other side.
Yeah, because there was a bit of because so Mankind pulls him to hell. And then Mankind crawls back up on top of the ring. And then some time passes. And then Undertaker busts through the ring on the opposite side of the ring. And then they fight to the back or whatever the hell. But yeah, it's also the Goldust and Taker are wrestling on this ring that may or may not just cave in at any point, which is another, that would have been embarrassing. But yeah, they fight to the backstage into the boiler room.
Oh,
I wonder what's going to happen with that.
Right. A little Easter egg for Summer.
Yes, sir. Got the boiler room brawl coming. But yeah, I mean, furthering the Taker Mankind storyline. I mean, it's probably some of the best stuff of either their career, honestly. So.
Oh no, this time, I mean, we think about it. This was 96, right?
Yeah.
So who would have thought that like in 98 they bring this back? And they just go, crazier, everything with King of the Ring and everything that ends up happening for both Mankind and Undertaker. It's kind of crazy to see the origins of their feud start here.
Yeah, especially because Undertaker has just been involved in nonsense for years, seemingly facing like King Kong Bundy and Giant Gonzalez. Himself. Yeah, so it's like finally he's got something like worthwhile to
exactly something to challenge him and something to you could build on too.
Yeah, but so that's where we're at with that. And after that, we got a little SummerSlam ad. So we got
yeah,
big fan.
Because this is the because this is when they go to Atlanta for the Olympics in '96.
Yes.
So they're trying to tie in that whole Olympic campaign and getting ready for everyone to watch the Olympics. So that's why they do this. I remember. And I kind of miss when WWE would do stuff like this.
Yeah, like Brock Lesnar giving F5 to a shark.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Remember Eddie Guerrero? Like he was on the track and then like he like tied everyone's shoes to like the.
So good. Yeah, here Ahmed Johnson just running through all the hurdles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if Shawn Michaels would be my high jump representative personally, but
yeah, I know they have to find something for him.
I don't know what else would he do. I mean, what Olympic sport would Shawn Michaels be a gold medalist in? Do you think?
Let's see.
Curly, maybe.
Well, curly.
Like current day Shawn Michaels, I could see him as a curler for sure.
Yeah. Dude, the way you know what I'm saying, dude. Curling is a good sport to watch. You ever watch curling?
I've seen it on at like restaurants and stuff. I don't really know what's going on.
Dude, it's intense, man. And you see somebody like squatting all weird just to let go of that disc, and then you hear the other people trying to sweep and shit. I mean, as Filipinos, that's kind of our sport, sweeping and stuff, with the little brooms, with our little brooms, like we can do this.
You're saying we're built for it?
I say you and I can be the ones to do the sweeping. We need to, let's get Matt Ritter to do the one with the disc.
He can be the puck. Maybe
he can contort himself too.
Yeah. Man, I'm just getting a lot of thumbnail ideas with this, but we'll workshop it, man. We'll get a team together.
Hey, we'll get a team. We'll get a squad.
There we go. Squad goals, the curlers. Let's get it. Let's get it. Well, that brings us to the main event. We got a 6-man tag team match. We got Camp Cornette, the team of Owen Hart, British Bulldog, and Vader, taking on. I just noticed they had a name. The People's Posse? Is that what they were called? That's what Cage Match says their name was. I don't remember.
No, I believe that because remember they had him and Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash had two dudes with attitudes.
Yeah, that's
right. So
that's
People's Posse. No lie. I want to say this is Shawn Michaels. I want to say this Shawn Michaels gave this.
It's definitely his idea. I'm not arguing that. It's just not good at all, man. The People's Posse, not the Main Street Posse. The People's Posse.
The People's Posse, man.
Ahmed Johnson, Shawn Michaels, and Psycho Sid. Who I'm gonna tell you this. I loved every single thing about this.
Yes, right. The whole. You know who was my favorite too? Sid was my favorite to watch out of this whole thing.
Yes,
dude, he was so animated. He was so hyped to be there. And I don't know if it's because the crowd hasn't seen him in a while or they are just his energy. But every time that he was in the ring, I was like, yeah, let's go. And maybe had also, too, when I think about it, it might have been because we had seen like Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, and British Bulldog in like so many matches. It was kind of nice to see a new addition.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, Sid, I mean, I've shit on Sid a lot on this podcast. I haven't really liked a lot of what I've seen from Sid, as a heel facing Diesel or with the $1 Million Corporation or whatever.
Yeah.
This show turned me into a Sid mark. I loved everything. He comes because he's a new baby face. He's like you said, he's returned after a little hiatus. He's back. The crowd is just eating it up. I don't know if he's from Vancouver or what the hell, but the crowd here loves them some Sid, and I can't blame him.
Dude, it's like anything that he did, he was so electric, and he connected with the fans for some reason that night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it was kind of weird too because they had Shawn Michaels come out first.
Yeah, that struck me as weird too.
Right? Wasn't that weird? Right? And then they had Ahmed, and then they had Sid. I remember when Sid came out, like the crowd was a little bit more hype than they were for Shawn, I felt,
I would agree.
And I don't know, it's because he was more engagement, you know what I'm saying? He was like throwing his hands up as if he just like nailed a touchdown, but like he was really into this match, man.
Dude, yeah, I mean, the match itself, I mean, is awesome. But before, like the entrances, so Shawn comes out, and this is the famous spot where Shawn's coming out and the crowd like knocks over the barricade trying to touch him. So good. I don't know if that was planted or what, but it was so cool.
See, I'm glad you said, because I was gonna say it if you weren't gonna say it. But dude, it's so funny because when I look at that video, I pause it a couple times just to see what kids were like. I don't care about rules. I'm gonna touch him, and you see like the bunch of kids like, should I? What should I do?
Yeah,
you know, like. And
do we storm the ring? Not yet. Yeah. Not yet.
What would you have done if you were that person? Would you have been like that fan, just grab him and just hug him, or
probably wrapped him in a small package, honestly, because Undertaker taught us that's what you do when things go awry. I might just carry that in my everyday life from now on. When in doubt, small package.
My god.
So everybody comes out, and Vader, it's Vader and Ahmed Johnson in the ring starting off, but Vader's like, no, I want Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And so they start. It's a pretty hot start. Shawn, knocks him to the outside, hops over the rope, plancha to the outside.
Yeah.
But goddamn, pal, when Sid tags in, that hot tag,
man.
It's the most chaotic hot tag I've ever seen him. Everything he does, yeah.
I love when he jumps in. He doesn't do any attack moves. He looks at the crowd first. Like he's like, and the
really
crowd just goes wild. Look, yeah. You're really happy that I'm here? And then he starts to go into his moves.
Dude, it's like, because he does everything just like a little bit wrong. Like he hits the ropes like backwards somehow. I don't know what he's doing. And then he like grabs, I don't even remember who it was, like Bulldog or somebody, like grabs him by the wrist and does like rapid fire kicks, which were like so fast, by the way. It's like, where's this athleticism coming from Sid?
And it's so funny because when he grabs him by the wrist, usually that's a thing that you're gonna catapult them to the rope.
Yeah.
So you see Bulldog take a step back, but then he actually gets kicked and he doesn't think about the kick, and he's like, oh, and then he starts selling it afterwards.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sid doing stuff like that is hilarious, man.
Those he has the longest arms I've ever seen in my life. I think he's like these rounded punches. They look so silly, but I don't know. It was great.
And then a lot of people were kind of like, I know, I've heard this before. People in WWE were kind of like teasing him about doing softball and stuff. But like, I don't know. Looking at his body, he looked like he was kind of made for
softball.
Sports. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Sid's built for a pro wrestler, but I mean, I could see him in third base.
Exactly. Left fielder, maybe.
Oh, is he a pitcher or a catcher? What do you think?
Oh, that's a good one. Depending on his screwball and how fast it goes, maybe determines.
Couple knuckleballs in there. I hear you.
Maybe his RBI is not that good. So
yeah, probably his on base percentage is subpar.
But yeah, everything that he did, the choke slam,
when
he would do the choke slam and everything like that, and it's so funny. We're talking about everyone being 100% into this match, right? Including Sid. You know who was not 100% into this match was Ahmed Johnson.
How dare you?
That person, I don't think when he walked out, it looked like he was like, I'm done for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his entrance.
Well, he spent a lot of energy conjuring up a promo before the match, so you can't really blame him. He was soaking wet just from trying to talk.
I think Owen Hart is like telling him what to do from outside of the ring, a couple spots, like with him and British Bulldog, because he had the least amount of time in the ring for that reason. And it's so funny because like when Sid tried to get him involved, like I think they were supposed to do a spot. He like has to tag him. He tagged him once on the shoulder and tagged him twice with the hand, like this to like wake him up. Like he just didn't seem into what was going on or present,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, it's hard to even gather what's going on in Ahmed Johnson's mind, honestly.
Yeah,
because he's another guy. Is like, I mean, when he came in the ring, he had his time to shine too. He was like throwing Owen, did like the three. I think calling them German suplexes would be a bit generous. I mean, he was just kind of just yanking them and tossing Owen all over the place.
Like base suplex at best, you know what I'm saying? Like not even. Like, I mean, do you hear that story about Booker T and seeing Ahmed Johnson at like the airport or something?
I don't think so.
So I think on Booker T's podcast or something, they said how he mentioned how he saw Ahmed Johnson at the airport, and Ahmed Johnson gives him like a wink and a smile. And Booker T doesn't do anything. And he's like, he doesn't deserve my attention.
What? Why?
Yeah, I guess they still have beef from back in the day or something like that.
Harlem Heat, maybe.
Yeah,
The new
there
Harlem
you go.
Heat.
Yeah. The
So
Harlem Heat.
he
Yeah.
like jumped into his grave a little bit. Well, it wasn't a grave. I mean, it was kind of Harlem Heat was the grave actually at that point. But
yeah.
Well, Ahmed Johnson's here. He's wet.
He's a solid performer.
Bro, Vader tries to do a splash on the Ahmed Johnson in the corner, and Ahmed just catches Vader and power slams him. Like, Jesus Christ, this fella is a strong.
See, that's the thing. I like people get it so upset because he was like super strong. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like Vader was like what 400 plus or something like that, or
probably it's beefy boy.
And he just picked him up and just power slammed him like it was like nothing.
Well, I mean, speaking of strength, I mean, Bulldog ain't no slouch either. Throwing out a stalling vertical suplex on Sid, which looked pretty nice on a tall guy like that. Nice. That's got to be hard as hell.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, just the overall energy of this match, the pace. Because a lot of times, like these tag matches, they could feel like just a series of singles matches where it's like, okay, you two go ahead, and then we're gonna lock you in a chin lock for a few minutes, and then all right, now you two. This one felt like constant action. It felt like people were interrupting pins, people were double teaming, people were like mixing up. It was just awesome. I really like this match.
Very high energy, and then Shawn Michaels does that high top suicida move at the very end of the match, which I thought was pretty wild. Just showing off his athleticism.
Maybe he should be the high jump. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, maybe you're right. Now that we put two and two together. And then what did you think about that fan jumping out at the?
Bro, he got on the top rope. He was almost there. He was about to phenomenal forearm somebody in this ring.
Then Ahmed Johnson gives him that stare. He just goes right back.
It became very real to him. I didn't think I'd get this far. Yeesh. Yeah, him and Bulldog. Ahmed and Bulldog both cornered him. Like, nope, no sir.
Yeah. If I was that dude's friend, that's all I would always say. Hey, remember that time you tried to, and then Ahmed Johnson just stared you down?
Yeah. If there's a match to try to interfere in as a fan, I don't think this is the one, fella. I mean, maybe try to get advantage of Hog. Maybe he's
there. You go. That's or the Smoking Guns and Body Diners. Maybe you might have a little altercation with Sonny. You know what I'm saying?
What's Zip gonna do?
Yeah, right. He gonna do nothing.
Exactly. So, but towards the end, Sid chokeslams everybody, tosses Shawn with a rocket launcher onto somebody, and then at some point, Jim Cornette's in the ring. Shawn Michaels grabs his racket, so Shawn goes for the sweet chin music, is tuning up the band. Jim Cornette trips him up. Shawn pulls him up, grabs his racket, and then I don't think he hits anybody with it, does he?
No, I don't think he hits anybody. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because he's distracted with Cornette in the corner. Right. This allows Vader to hit him with a splash in the corner, and then hits the Vader bomb for the win. So Vader pins the WWF champion in the main event.
No, what does that mean?
By God, with SummerSlam on the horizon, the hottest party of the summer. Oh, he's big. Oh, it's probably what Vince is saying. Then we get a little Pearl Harbor job at the end. The baby faces attack, and then they stand tall, I guess. I bet Sid throws out some power bombs on like everybody.
Yeah, on everybody, which is crazy,
Except Vader, because Vader skedaddles. He's able to. He gets pulled out by the other guys.
By British Bulldog, I think, pulls him out.
Yeah. And it's when Shawn, leaps on Vader, and then they brawl. So we're all set. We're setting up the SummerSlam. I don't know what the other guys are. I forget what the other guys do at SummerSlam. I'm sure they'll be intertwined somehow. But
we talked about the Undertaker Mankind Brawler Room match that happens. Yeah. The other stuff, I actually don't know. I actually forgot.
We'll just have to wait and see, fella.
We are. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, what incidents happen? But speaking of incidents, international. Got me all excited about Vancouver, a B pay-per-view in Vancouver. But overall, man, if you had to give a grade to this show from S to F, what do you think you would throw at it?
Well, from S, I will say, since this is the first time that the IC champion the world champion are like together on teams.
My goodness.
I feel like, I would give this for back then maybe a B plus.
Okay.
Maybe a B plus. I
like it. Do you have those titles with you at all times, by the way, just in case?
Just when I see you, baby.
Oh, a couple champions.
Sorry, I wish I had one to hold, got a
trophy I can send you one.
We'll superimpose it in post, I'll just put it over.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. We'll both do HBK type Playboy pictures, and it'll be both of us.
That's the thumbnail.
There you go.
I like the way you think.
There you go.
I mean, that's you can
People's Posse. That's what they want. They want People's Posse.
Is that what we are? The People's Posse?
We're the People's Posse. We're the Filipino People's Pop. So
see, it'll trip people up, so it avoids people of messing with us.
That's right.
Right. I mean, when people see us, they're gonna be like, "Get your asses out of here!" But speaking of which, first of all, Juss, thank you so much for making the time to come on here again, talk some wrestling.
Of course.
Where can everybody see your beautiful, beautiful face and hear your beautiful, beautiful voice on the social medias and whatnot?
You can find me at the Get Your Podcast on Twitter, Get Your Podcast on Instagram. If you can't find me there, you can find me on Thursdays with Marks and Mikes at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. Get Yours a little bit on a break until Survivor Series, but I do have a bunch of This Your Boy Juss episodes out. We're talking mostly about hip hop. I just did one where I talk about an up and coming rapper named Big Herc, King Herc. So check that out right now. It's out right now. But yeah, Kyle, you got to come on GETCHO when the crew gets back together. We talk about some stuff, and
I'll talk some rap.
Appreciate you. Yeah, you talk some rap. All right.
Let's do a little scrappy retrospective.
Hey, I love Scrappy.
Gangsta, it's a bop.
Hey, come on now.
This is my MySpace song for a while. Good times. Good times.
Once again, thank you to Juss from the GETCHO podcast for joining me on this show. Always a good time with my boy Justino. Check him out at GETCHO podcast all across the board. I don't know. All of it's in the description below. Go check out the GETCHO podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, check out Marks and Mikes as well. Hey, you know what you should also check out? I don't know. Let's hit that jingle, Bartholomew. WCW, ECW, WWF. Who's the hardest promotion? Eric or Vince or Paulie? I think we can agree, though, it's mostly shit. Alrighty then. Let's grade this show, shall we? But first of all, let's review what we're doing here. We're going to compare WWF, WCW, and ECW at this point in time, July 21st, 1996. We'll take a look at the in-ring, the out-of-ring, the roster, all of this stuff. Each thing has its associated point value, which each company will either earn or lose. We'll compare, contrast. But first things first, before we get into anything, let's grade this show, shall we? From a scale of S to F, S being one of the greatest shows of all time, to F being the drizzling shits. This is not a drizzling shit show. I thought it might be. Like I said in the beginning, when I looked at this card, I was expecting this to be like a D pay-per-view. It is not a D pay-per-view, not an F pay-per-view. Maybe a C. I think it's either C or B. It's not fantastic, but it was an easy watch, sub 2 hours. These are all things we take into account, like the pacing of the show, kind of the context of what the show is to, like, we're not going to compare, the WrestleManias against like this kind of short form pay-per-view, but we kind of do because, we'll get into it. But C or B, I think, In Your House 9 would be fair. I think we said B on the podcast. I'm wondering if that's a little. I think C plus is what I'm thinking. The main event was really awesome, though. God, maybe it is a B because the main event was awesome. Stone Cold versus Mero was really good. Mankind had a squash match, but I thought that was really effective. You have him and the Undertaker furthering their feud. The Goldust stuff, the tag team stuff maybe takes it down a bit. Damn, man, is this a B? This might be a B. I kind of liked the show, to be honest. Am I crazy? I mean, King of the Ring got a B. I think this is as good as King of the Ring, probably, right? I'm gonna throw a B at it. Maybe it's generous, but I think it was just a fun. I enjoyed watching this show. The main event also was like half the show, so that's like a big weight on it. You know what I mean? So, all right, we got a B, which I think is I believe WWF has been running a lot of B pay-per-views, so which is pretty good. So the next thing we look at is which company between the three has the highest average pay-per-view grade, and as of right now, WWF still has the highest grade, averaging about a B, which is similar to how it's been all year. So no changes there. So that brings us to the overall scoreboard. Currently, WWF and ECW are tied with 10 points. WCW in the rear with 2 points. How do we get these points? Well, let's walk us through it, shall we? So like I said, each criteria has its own associated point value, including the best overall average pay-per-view grade, which we just touched on. WWF maintains those 6 points. Best pay-per-view, still WrestleMania 12, as that is the only A as of right now. So WWF maintains those 2 points. Worst pay-per-view, still WCW Super Brawl. Obviously, In Your House 9 was not worse than that. So WCW maintains that -1 point. In ring, best overall. We're tracking ECW as the best currently. Man. So we're coming off of ECW Heat Wave 1996, where the in-ring wasn't that stellar. Whereas this show, I mean, Mero and Austin was really good. Even Taker versus Goldust was fine. The main event was awesome. Shit, dude. I thought the in-ring was solid throughout this entire show, to be honest. Do we switch this to WWF? Because, ECW has been losing a lot of their key in-ring guys like Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Dean Malenko, Benoit, Eddie, even like Mick Foley and Steve Austin was there. I mean, now because ECW, they have Shane Douglas, they got Scorpios fucking around somewhere. Raven, Dreamer, Sandman, like that whole crew, they've just been involved in a lot of brawl nonsense, dude. I think we might switch this to WWF for now. I think that's what we're doing, gang. WWF retains, or they take those 4 points away from ECW. So now WWF is starkly in the lead with 14 points. ECW drops down to 6 points. Best match of the year. Shawn versus Diesel. In Your House 7. Ooh. Dude, I really liked that 6-man tag. I mean, it's going to be WWF either way, so it doesn't totally matter, but was the 6-man tag better than Shawn versus Diesel in Your House 7? I think what might give Shawn and Diesel the edge here, I think a good one-on-one match, in my opinion, has more value than a good 6-man tag. Maybe not always, but I think in this case it does. Considering that, Shawn and Diesel was for the world title, it had a really great build to it as well. Plus the match was great. So I think Shawn and Diesel just barely keeps the edge, but it's a close one. It's a close one. Worst match, we're tracking Ultimate Warrior and Goldust. Also from In Your House 7. Nothing on this show was worse than that. Not even close. So WWF maintains the best and the worst match of the year so far. So they get +2 for the best and -1 for the worst. They maintain those. So no change to the scoreboard there. Roster star power. So we take into account, the mainstream appeal of everybody, the star power, the in-ring quality, the technical ability, the promo, like all that stuff, right? We're tracking WCW as the best because, right, as at this point, they got the NWO is just cooking. They're just getting off the floor. We got Hogan, Hall, Nash, You also got your Flairs, your Benoits, your Arn Andersons. You got your Macho Mans, the Stings, the Lex Luger. They got a pretty stacked roster over there. In addition to the cruiserweight stuff with Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, Psychosis. All those people I was talking about earlier that ECW lost. So I think we still give this to WCW. WWF hasn't really seen much changes since the last we looked at this, so I don't see any reason to change. So we'll keep that at WCW. So they keep those 4 points. Wrestler of the Year, Shawn Michaels. Goddamn, pal. Again, he's involved in the 2 matches that I was considering for Best of the Year. So as much as he's kind of an unlikable prick at this point, I think I still got to keep him there. Wrestler of the Year, Shawn Michaels. Who from this show would, you could argue Stone Cold, but I think we're still too early in his run for him to be Wrestler of the Year. So we'll keep this at Shawn Michaels. We'll keep an eye out for like Mankind, Undertaker. There's a lot of people that could probably overtake him eventually, but not yet. We'll keep it at Shawn Michaels. So WWF maintains those 2 points. Worst Wrestler of the Year, Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, we're going to keep it there. -1 point for WWF. So everything's staying the same there. Out of ring. So we're looking at gimmicks, characters, promos, storylines, all that stuff. Best overall, we're tracking ECW. So what storylines have we got here from In Your House 9? We got Mankind and Undertaker is going. It's pretty good so far. I don't think we've really hit its stride yet, but I think we're on our way. Mero versus Austin's fine. The main event, while I'm praising the hell out of this main event for how good the match was, the story tied to it isn't that great in my opinion. What else we got? I got the tag team bullshit with Sonny and the Guns and the Body Donnas. We got the haters there. Goldust. I think ECW still maintains this because while the in-ring stuff in ECW at this point isn't the best, they got good stuff with Dreamer and Sandman and Raven, Dreamer and Raven. They got the tag team division's pretty hot. The TV title division with Jericho and Shane Douglas and all that stuff. Francine turning on the Pitbulls. Yeah, ECW's got some good stories going on right now. So ECW maintains those 4 points. Best character storyline. We're tracking Taz from ECW currently. Any characters? So we could argue Mankind, right? Which is interesting because this year started with Cactus Jack as the best. But now he's gone to a completely different company, and now we're debating on putting him there again as a different character, which is pretty impressive. Taz. So Taz is really good right now. Just the aura he brings around him. The presentation, the shoot fighting thing, the Bill Alfonso, the Team Taz, dropping people on their heads, calling out Sabu, his promos. He's a badass at this point. Is that better than Mankind as of July 21st, 1996? Because Mankind, I think, is the only guy that would kind of be on the running, right? Shawn Michaels' character isn't that stellar. His in-ring stuff's great, but it's fine. I don't think it's better than Taz. Undertaker's kind of just an idol at this point. Not an idol, but I think Mankind's definitely pulling stuff out of him. So it would be Mankind over Undertaker, in my opinion. I think we'll keep it Taz for now. But as the year goes on, we'll keep an eye on this because Mankind might overtake him at some point. So ECW maintains those 2 points for now. Worst character storyline. Dungeon of Doom. Yeah. Dungeon of Doom at this point is starting to kind of fizzle out. It's still there, but it's like it feels like it's in the background. You know what I mean? It's not at the forefront by any means. So the lack of prominence of the faction makes me inclined to kind of change it because while it's bad, it's not ruining the show. You know what I mean? So I don't know how long Dungeon of Doom will be there. I mean, anything on this show is anything on this show worse? I mean, babyface Body Donna's is pretty bad, but not worse really than that. Hog, Godwin's now. I don't think anything on this show would be in the running, so we'll keep it at Dungeon of Doom for now, but that's another one we'll keep an eye on for future shows. So WCW maintains that -1 point. So overall, the only change we've seen is the best overall in ring, which WWF took that from ECW. So now the updated score, WWF is now in the lead with 14 points. ECW in second with 6 points. WCW still in last place with 2 points. So big swing here, but lots of year, only about halfway through, a little over halfway through. So lots can change. We'll keep an eye on it, but that's where we stand. And I think that's about all Daddy has for you today, to be honest with you, gang. Appreciate you guys hanging around. Appreciate you guys. By the way, I mean, hit me up. This is where the Discord can come into play. Very easy access to input on these. If you have any other opinions, if you disagree, if you agree with me, I'm open for suggestions. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something I'm overlooking. Who knows? Hit me up. Slide into Daddy's DMs, why don't you? But join the Discord, do that. Follow me on all the social medias, do that. I mean, what else is there to say, really? But can't stop thinking about Tom Prichard's ass, to be honest. It is a voluptuous piece of art, let me tell you. But with that, I love y'all. I'll leave ya. Y'all take care. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Big old smooches all around your body. I'm hard.
Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing I guess. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what